1, 2, 7, 10. Oh, good morning, Creative Mornings Atlanta. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy to see y'all. So I know that we are first of all in the amazing and beautiful and very, very punk ABV Gallery. So y'all show some love for ABV Gallery this morning. Yeah. So we'll kind of be like trading sides a little bit. So I might like talk to y'all over here, then I might walk over there and talk to y'all. But make sure that you don't miss these amazing pieces that are here in the middle of the room, as well as almost every nook of this venue. There is art to see. I'm gonna tell you more about that in a minute. First of all, who are my first timers? First time Creative Mornings Atlanta this morning. Give it up for them. Y'all did it. Y'all did that. Okay? You might be like, what is this? What am I at? So, first of all, I'm supposed to be telling y'all announcements, and I'm just talking to y'all. I have 1,000 things to tell y'all because I was about to tell you 1,000 things. Okay, now, you are here at Creative Mornings Atlanta. You will hear more about that in just a moment. We are one of over 200 chapters globally of Creative Mornings. So there is Creative Mornings in Chicago, in LA, in Detroit, in Sao Paulo, all over the world. And all of us are working on the same theme each month. And this month, as you may know, our theme is punk. So that's exciting. Thank you for the woo, because I really needed that this morning. Also, did y'all get caffeinated this morning? Did you enjoy the coffee this morning? Yes, yes. Big shout out to Dancing Goats by Caldi's. They are our coffee spot all year long. So they are providing free coffee to us every month. So clap real loud so they'll keep doing it. And you can enjoy Dancing Goats coffee today. You can also just bop by a location. There are a bunch of Dancing Goats locations. If you don't know, now you know. Go to there. Drink the coffee. Okay, next, let's talk about food. Big shout out to Sublime Donuts this morning. We love to see it. We try as much as we can to support our local businesses here in Atlanta. And if you did not notice, Sublime did make some donuts spelling out punk this morning. So shout out to that. And if you missed that, listen, Sublime can also do donuts spelling out various things for you. You could do this for your birthday. You could do this for your boo. You could put a cuss word for somebody you broke up with. You have a lot of options. Please support Sublime Donuts. They are open 24 hours right over there near Georgia Tech. So you want to go there. Get you some donuts. It's amazing. Also, big shout out to Dolce Vegan, who was our other food partner for the day. For my vegan people, yeah, go on and clap for that. Yeah, okay? For my vegan people, for my gluten-free people, we always try to be really mindful of dietary restrictions. I know I have had some. Okay, yes, we're trying, because you hate it when you go to eat someplace and people are like, you could have a green bean, and you're like, why do I want a green bean? Like, I want to eat a carb like everybody else, okay? So we do what we can for that. Thank you to Sublime Donuts and Dolce Vegan. They are amazing. Okay, now let me tell you a little bit more about Creative Mornings Global. This is a free event for Atlanta's creative community. You might say, what do we mean when we say Atlanta's creative community? We mean everybody, because everybody's welcome and everybody's creative. Our community is full of people who work in creative industry. We're full of people that are artists here. We're full of people who just like to do creative shit. And if that's you, you're welcome here, okay? In our chapter, we do 10 free events a year. We alternate mornings and evenings. So you are here now at our morning event. In July, we will have an evening event, February through November. So come see us. These events are free every month. There is free food every month, because we know it's hard out here, okay? We're all here surviving the net 15, the net 60, the net when is it gonna get here, okay? So freelance people, just know I feel you, okay? There are all sorts of layoffs and things. People are stressed. You know, you can come here, you can get a free cup of coffee, you can get a free something to eat and be inspired, okay? So give it up for yourselves, okay? All right. Wow, I don't think I introduced myself. I'm just up here talking to y'all. My name is Amina Brown. I am the chapter host, which is the team lead for Creative Mornings Atlanta. Thank you. Thank you. And I do not do this by myself. We are a completely volunteer-led initiative. What does that mean? Nobody here that helps put on Creative Mornings is getting paid. None of us. We do it for the love, because we love the community, because we love the city. What does that mean? We also need more volunteers. Are you like, I would love to use my spare time to help other people be creative in this city. I would love to do event production. I would love to do graphic design. We are accepting volunteers, okay? So if that's you, use this QR code up here. If you're like, my progressives cannot see the QR code, then come and see me afterwards. We would love to talk to you more about that. Yes, people in this room are wearing progressives. It's okay. Everyone here is welcome, okay? Come and see us. Another type of volunteer that we're looking for right now is our day of people. You might be like, hey, I can't really help during the month. I can't help like plan things, but I sure would love to just come the day of and set up some chairs, greet some people. If that's you, who are my volunteer coordinators in this room? Can my volunteer coordinators raise your hand? Nancy is over here. Angie is over here. Damalis is in the room. Go to them and give them your email today. We want to see you like next month. Okay, so shout out to my volunteer team. They are rock stars. They are the reason why this event is dope. Okay, our theme this month is punk. Okay, give it up for punk today. Yes. And one of the things, and we'll get into this more when we hear from our speakers in a few minutes, but one of the things that's really important to us is when you think about punk, those of you that are interested or have been intrigued by punk culture, you hear a lot about LA. You hear a lot about New York. You hear a lot about the Bay, but you don't hear as much about Atlanta. And we also had a very strong punk scene here. So we invited some speakers to tell you about how punk is going down in Atlanta, how punk has gone down in Atlanta in the past, so that you can know punk culture still lives, and it still lives here in Atlanta. Yeah? Okay. All right. What are my other things? Okay, these are the people that help this thing remain free, because you know nothing in Atlanta is free anymore, okay? Somebody asked me the other day, can I go to a poetry open mic? I'm a college student. I was like, do you want to organize that on your campus? Because the way parking is set up, I'm just not sure, you know? Things are getting the prices are high out here, okay? So the reason why we are able to do this even for free is because of our sponsors. Big shout out to Adobe. I know all of you are familiar in this room with Adobe some way or another. Thank you for clapping for them. Adobe is a global partner of Creative Mornings, meaning they are a partner of all of our chapters worldwide. So shout out to Adobe. Make sure you check out their products. They also do events, and they are almost always coming to Atlanta a couple of times a year doing free events as well. So make sure you check that out and get involved. Okay, next, we want to thank Ripple. You should have had a card in your seat telling you a little bit about Ripple. Listen to me. Ripple is a talent platform. What do I mean when I say that? I mean, if you are looking for work at this moment, you are looking to freelance, you are looking to get hired, we actually have people in this room that have worked with Ripple. So I am not just here talking. I can tell you this is a platform you want to join, okay? So you raise your hand, Angie. Okay, Angie said, listen, Ripple will help me get hired too. So make sure you take a look at this. It's a platform you want to sign up for if you are not already signed up. Go to there. Make a platform. My Ripple team, can you raise your hands in case some people want to? Yeah, okay, yes, okay. Come see these two women, okay? Come and talk to them. Get that resume out of your phone, okay? Get this together. We're here in the community together, trying to make sure we all have the resources we need. Make sure you check out Ripple, and don't forget, that's ripple.com. That's Ripple with a W, okay? That's WRIPPLE.com. Make sure you check that out. All right. Next up, shout out to our video partner, Greg Harding. Greg, wave your hand. He can only wave a little bit. Okay. Every time we host a morning gathering, we do capture all of these on video. So if you miss one, you can find these videos at creativemornings.com/ATL. And the reason why they look so crispy is because of Greg. Because there's 1 month on there that we did this alone. And you'll know when you get to it. You'll see it, and you'll be like, that was before Greg got there. That's what happened, okay? You, too, can work with Greg Harding. How? For a fee. You, too, can have Greg Harding work with you. Greg can make sure your images are crispy when you pay him. And pay him a net now. Don't we want to see a net now? I hate a net 30 so bad. All right. Next up, we are doing 30-second pitches. How many people have been here when we've done 30-second pitches before? A few people? Okay. So let me explain to y'all. 30-second pitches is a thing many Creative Mornings chapters do, where we are inviting you from the audience to come up here and pitch anything, and I'm going to define anything in just a minute, anything for 30 seconds, okay? If you need a new friend, that's a 30-second pitch. If you need a job, that's a 30-second pitch. If you want a boo, you can also pitch that for 30 seconds, okay? The one thing you not gonna pitch up here is hate speech. Don't make me come get you. Can we clap for that? Because I just can't have it. Like it can't be. Okay? Pitch anything. Pitch us flowers and plants, but don't pitch us hate speech. And if you're sitting in your chair right now and you're like, is what I'm gonna say hate speech? If you had to ask, then don't bring that up here either. Okay. All right. Let me see who's in our little dish here. All right. Now, these are Post-it notes, so we're hoping I know how to get up in here. Yes. Our first 30-second pitch. Y'all show your love for Amanda Dinsmore from GPB. Come on, Amanda. First of all, let me give y'all a little sneak peek of something, okay? I'm excited to announce to y'all for the first time publicly that we will actually be at GPB for the month of August for our next morning event. Y'all give it up for GPB. Yes. So y'all need to get to know Amanda anyway. Okay, Amanda, I'm going to put a timer on, okay? And then it's going bump, 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 but like I'm going to do it. There's not like an actual, I'm going to bump, bump, bump for you, but over here, okay? All right, you're ready?
I'm ready. Okay. Hey, everybody. How's it going? I'm Amanda Densmore. I'm Community Engagement at Georgia Public Broadcasting. You'll be here in August. We're in Midtown. Community engagement is connecting with people in dynamic and impactful ways. And it's Creative Mornings, so it's creative. It's up to you, right? So we do everything from American Revolution to Da Vinci to Be My Neighbor Day and Daniel Tiger. So there's a lot of different ways that you can connect with us, and we love to connect with you in the community because GPB is nothing without our community. So, do I get the bump, bump, bump? All right, 5 more seconds. gpb.org. We love y'all. Thank you.
Yes, give it up for Amanda Dinsmore from Georgia Public Broadcasting. And one of the reasons why we're going over there, in addition to GPB being an amazing partner, is because why? We need to support our public broadcasting right now, right? Okay? So we'll see you there. The theme for August is Nomad. It's the last Friday of August. Put it on your calendar. Don't miss that. Thank you, Amanda. That was amazing. All right, let me see who else we got over here. Gabriella from Ripple. Come on, Gabriella.
Hi, I'm from Ripple, and we're currently looking for a bilingual communications consultant. Do you have 5+ years of experience? Do you speak Spanish? Do you speak Portuguese? We need you. It's a really great job, 40 hours a week, annual contract at a really great aviation company. You might know which one that is here in Atlanta. You need to be willing to go on site 4 days a week. Do you know anyone? Do you have a friend? Do you speak Spanish? Let me know. Thank you.
Yes, come on, Gabriella. Let's help the people get hired, okay? Because if I said como se dice and you knew what it was, make sure you go to Ripple, okay? If I said como se dice and you didn't understand, then it's not for you. It's not for you, okay? I just want to make sure. It's not Pig Latin. We're talking about Espanol, okay? All right. Next up to the mic, Blaze. Come on, Blaze.
All right. I feel like a stand-up comedian. How y'all doing? My name is Blaze Haru. I have an agency called Village Griot Creative Studio. Essentially what I'm looking for is more clients. So if you need some video or some photography, you can definitely holler at me. I'm also looking for people who want to be friends because I need more friends. Is that you? I'm a really cool guy to hang out with. and a boo, because it is summertime, so, you know, I want all the things. But yeah, so you can find me, you can find me on Instagram, Blaze_Heru, that's Heru, and it's Blaze spelled like fire, not like glaze or like blase. So you can definitely look me up. All right, y'all, thank y'all so much.
I know that's right, Blaze. Okay? Because, see, some of y'all are worried about cuffing season. That's when it gets cold outside. But y'all ain't been paying attention to lemonade season, okay? That's also a boo time, okay? When you need to get basil lemonade with a boo, that's also this time right here. Thank you, Blaze. Let the people know. You can pitch yourself. Friends and boos. Okay, let's see who else we got here. Okay, is this Trina Stubbs? Am I pronouncing that correct? Did I do it? Trina Stubbs coming up here. Come on, Trina.
Hi everyone, I am Trina Stubbs. I'm currently looking for a visionary that is tired of getting in their own way. My company is Apex Virtual Solutions. We've been in business for 18 years and we help leaders learn how to delegate and also build effective teams. Thank you. Oh, you can find me at apexassisting.com.
Go back and say the last part again so we can hear you. How they can find you?
You can find me at apexassisting.com.
Give it up for Trina. It's opportunities for y'all. It's opportunities. Okay, I think I have 3 more. I think we can do it, everybody. First of all, thank you to all of our 30-second pitches for being on time. Don't make me, you know, y'all haven't made me have to be that person. Okay. All right, next up, Ruben Bloom coming up to the mic. Ruben, let's go.
Hello, I wasn't expecting this. I am a filmmaker and all kinds of creative person. My friend and I are starting a new creative lab, which makes us sort of a breakthrough architect. So if you have something that you've always wanted to do, but you feel like you can't do it for some reason, please come talk to me, and I will help you realize something about yourself that you never understood before.
Okay, Ruben. That was kind of deep. Ruben said he can help you know yourself, okay? All right, next up, Jen Ambrose. Jen, where are you? Come on up here.
Hi, it's my first time here. I'm Jen Ambrose. I'm a punk rock therapist. I help people with stress, trauma, and PTSD. I'm looking to move into online teaching. My interest right now is resilience in times of change, helping people deal with this changing world we're in. I have never done online work, all learning curves, interested in collaborating with people in all the areas I'm going to need to grow there. So you can come up and say hi if that interests you, scholarships for people helping the community. So thanks.
Y'all give it up for Jen. Yes. See, y'all didn't even know. Y'all didn't even know Atlanta had punk rock therapists. You know, we're just here meeting the needs of the people. Okay, I got my last one. So if your name hasn't been called, this is you. I feel like this is like Christmas, but not. It's like opening a gift, but not for me. Okay, Ross Boone, where are you, Ross? Let's go.
Hey, my name is Ross. I have struggled through my faith and had a lot of doubts throughout the years. And as a creative, I've come up with creative solutions to this. And I've put it all in an app that's on the App Store to help gamify spiritual disciplines. It is called Creature Habits. It's on both platforms, and it is my baby. I work on it every day. Everything that I struggle with, I figure out a way to make it easier to draw closer to God, and I put it into the app. Check it out, Creature Habits. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. Y'all give it up for all of your 30-second pitches. Oh my goodness, that was great. You two can have a pitch over here. You never know. All right, first of all, let me let you know about our next event. Our next event is an evening event. Our evening events are called Creative After Hours. So we do 5 mornings and 5 evenings. The evening feels a bit different from this in the sense that it's typically a workshop or something that is experiential, right? So our theme for July is mentor, and we are actually doing speed mentoring for July. So if you are looking to be have some career mentoring, we might have a relationship coach. You don't know what could happen, but come to there. There will be sparkling water, because y'all don't drink soda anymore, okay? So there will be sparkling water, there'll be some vittles. You can come to there the last Thursday of July. Make sure you do that. All right, next, that's July 31st. Also to let you know, those events are typically much smaller than this one. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to our socials so you can get your ticket before they are gone. All right, now let's talk about ABV Gallery. Who in here knows Greg Mike? Y'all know Greg Mike? Okay, yes. Yes. Greg Mike and his team founded ABV Gallery. We are so excited to be here in this venue. Their team actually reached out to us months ago, and when we saw that we had this theme for this year, we thought, we can't do punk without doing it here at ABV. So let me tell you a couple of things about ABV. All of this art that you are seeing all over these walls right now, these are all Atlanta artists. Artists who live right here in our city. Yeah, give it up for that. It's amazing. Yeah, give it up for that. So before you leave today, if you haven't already, take some time, if you have it, to walk around and look at the art that is in here. You may discover a new artist that you want to start supporting. And let me speak a word about supporting our local artists, right? When we think of some of the bigger name artists we know from our time in school, Picasso and Van Gogh and those artists, right? We want to also give that same or even more support to our local artists in the city. So if you're looking for art for your home, don't just go to TJ Maxx. Don't just go to IKEA. Come up in ABV Gallery. You could start supporting some artists as they are emerging, some of our artists who are already having such great careers. So we are here in ABV for free. You can come back to ABV and hang around, see the art for free, but the art is not free, okay? Do you know how you could get the art? For a fee. You could take one of these pieces home for a fee, people, okay? For a little Apple Tap. Okay, for a little Cash App, all right? You too can have art in here, okay? Let me make sure I'm telling you everything I want you to know about ABV. ABV is here, this space that we are looking at. ABV is also a creative agency as well. So if you're looking to collaborate or partner with them, you too can work with ABV, okay? You can bring your clients into here. And you know how you can work with ABV as a creative agency team? How can you do it? Okay, y'all didn't say it loud enough. For a fee, okay? Because that's what we need. Everybody wants to be paid their fees. Y'all give it up for our ABV Gallery team. They're amazing. Okay. Now, let's get into our theme. We are here on the theme of punk today, so it made sense that we should approach the speaker time a bit different than usual. So instead of us having one speaker, because punk is so vast, as a culture, as an ethic, we wanted to have multiple voices for you to hear from today. So I want us to start with our first speaker, which will be Ivette Spradlin, who is the co-founder, Ivette Spradlin is the founder of Punk House Atlanta. Punk House Atlanta is an Instagram account you can follow, but more than that, it is an archive of punk history here in Atlanta. And we are also excited to have Randy. Randy, I did not ask you how to pronounce your last name. I just realized that. Gue. Okay, come on in here. Randy Gue is here from Emory to be in conversation with Ivette. And Randy is the founder of the Atlanta Punk Archive at Emory University. Y'all give some claps and love to Ivette and Randy.
Good morning. How y'all doing? So, Ivette, you ready?
Yes.
Let's start kind of with the basics. What is Punk House Atlanta?
So Punk House Atlanta is a community-driven Instagram page that mainly posts memorabilia and photos, videos from the punk DIY scene in Atlanta. 2010 and earlier. So it's a little bit more about the past of the punk scene.
And so when did you start Punk House Atlanta, and what inspired you to do it? You're a busy photographer, filmmaker, and artist. What motivated you to found this account?
So I had been living in Pittsburgh for 12 years, and in 2021 I was moving back to Georgia, and I started it a couple months before I moved back, but there had been another article that came out about Punk House Oakland, and they were doing something like that. My friend Crystal sent it to me, and then soon after that she was like, oh, all these cities are popping up with their own Punk House page as these nostalgia kind of driven documents of the scene. And so I was like, oh, should we start Punk House Atlanta? And she was like, yeah, but I don't want to be on Instagram. So I was like, okay, I guess that means I'm starting Punk House Atlanta. And so I've been running it ever since. But for me personally, a motivation was to kind of reconnect with old friends and former acquaintances that I knew from the punk scene when I was here in the late 90s and early 2000s. So that really was my inspiration. And then as I did it, I didn't know if it was going to take off, but then other people were writing in and saying they were really enjoying it, and they were actually also reconnecting with other old friends, and so that worked out great. And then last, kind of like a newer inspiration is that something that I couldn't foresee was that a lot of younger people who weren't even born then write in and tell me that they love seeing what was happening then, and also maybe their parents were in some of the photos, or they sent me photos of their parents that were in the scene. And so I think they got a glimpse into like how the punk scene was back then and what people were doing and how they were being creative. So now that's in my head as I go through it too, like how are the youth viewing what's happening on there.
Very interesting. I did not know that part about parents. So what do you want to accomplish with Punk House Atlanta?
So, well, of course, when I first started it, I didn't know where it would go, what would it take off, and kind of another aspect of it, since I am an artist and I've done oral histories before and I like to document different subcultures. When I came back, I was thinking, oh, I want to do some sort of project when I get here, and it's a great way to reconnect with people. So that was a big part of it too, to kind of see if I could start something, which I did. I started doing oral histories, mainly about the West End warehouses where a bunch of punks lived, but also about punk in general in Atlanta. And then from there, I started a website, punkhouseatlanta.com, which I hope to build more as like kind of collecting stories, collecting photos, have it more curated, more searchable, because right now the Instagram, things just get lost, and you can't search it as well. So that's kind of what I hope the future of it. It's kind of collecting as an archive before it goes in like a real archive that can last beyond whatever I can pay for a website for however long, So, yeah.
Well, and so for folks who don't know, what is a punk house?
So a punk house is usually a very affordable living house that a bunch of punks live in, and generally they would put on shows or have other punk events there, or just be like a hangout. The way I kind of experienced it was in like the mid-90s. Early mid-90s, we used to go to like a lot of more venues like Somber Reptile, Rec Room, and then either liquor laws changed or the fact that there was also a lot more straight edge bands, and they were like, and straight edge means that the punks didn't do any drugs or drink alcohol, and so that really killed bar sales. So, and that it had to be all ages because it was a youth kind of event. And so basically venues started to be like, this isn't profitable to have punk shows anymore. So a lot more punk houses started popping up, and then that became more of like the DIY spirit. Like, we're just gonna do it all ourselves. People are gonna come touring, like a touring band doesn't have to be known. They don't expect to make much money, hopefully gas money. It was donation based. And basically, it was like a party, and you would go and you wouldn't know any of the bands, but you'd just be like, I'm just going because they have a show, and hang out with your friends, give a few bucks for the band, and the band would play, and everybody would have a good time. So.
All right, we're almost out of time, so last question. How has punk influenced your artwork?
So I think at first that was my subject matter when I was first starting photography. But I know now, even still, as my subject matters have changed and my technique has changed and I've gotten better, it's still like an attitude and an approach of like, I'm just going to try something and see what happens. To me, it's like failure is part of the process. It's just like that deciding point of whether I decide to go further or end the project. But I feel like that kind of just fuck it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. See what happens. If it works, it works. Not is to me the punk spirit within me, like not caring about the outcome.
So do it yourself, huh?
Yeah.
So we're about out of time. Any last words of wisdom about Atlanta punk?
Well, I think that the biggest thing to me is that when I document in these spaces and everything, that it was so important that spaces were affordable, and as we see rents now and the structure now, it's harder and harder for people to have time to be creative or live in a place that they could live affordably that allows their artistic pursuits and interests, and also even galleries to prosper. So I think supporting all of those kinds of things and thinking about that is really important. So yeah, DIY spaces are important.
Now give it up one more time. Oh yeah, go ahead, Randy.
So the Minutemen at the end of their shows would always say, now, go start your own band.
I know that's right. Y'all give it up for Randy Gu and Ivette Spradlin. I want to bring up Mike Seatown, who is our next speaker you will hear from, visual artist, co-founder of Dead End Hip Hop and Punk. Come on up here. All right, first of all, shout out to Ivette for saying Somber Reptile.
Yeah, that's old school.
That took me back. I've been in there. Back in the day.
We're dating ourselves.
I mean, obviously, Mike and I are like 16 years old, and so that was during the time that we were toddlers.
Yes, we were
probably.
brought there as in babies.
Yeah.
Held as babies, yeah.
Okay, I want to start off asking you, how would you, I'm using the word define here very loosely, but how would you sort of give us words for what punk is? Because I think sometimes when there is a culture as large as punk became, sometimes there end up being, and a friend of mine and I were talking about this, sometimes punk ends up having an aesthetic.
Sure.
That people are like, oh, it must be those boots, it must be this type of style.
Sure.
But they may not also know, like, how do we arrive to there? What are like the depths of what that culture is? So from your experience in punk, how would you define what punk is?
I'm glad you brought up the whole idea of aesthetic, because I think a lot of people will think of punk as just a bunch of people with, mohawks and green hair, and they haven't showered in a week, and they're just like, just breaking shit for no reason at all. But I think that the punk scene that I came from was very special in that it was welcoming for weirdos. And as someone that was a weirdo when I was I'm still a weirdo, but like through high school, I'm one of the few people that I can confidently say that if I had not found the punk scene when I was a teenager, I would not be here, period. And I don't mean like spiritually here, I mean literally, I'd be gone. I found the punk scene and it was extremely inviting to someone like me who thought about things differently, but I didn't know there were other people out there that did the exact same kind of thing. So I think the main takeaway from punk is that it's about thinking about things differently and not shaming other folks for maybe having an alternate opinion than you.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, give it up for that. It's really great. Let me ask you this about punk also, because one of the, well, I'll put out there what I'm thinking. One of the sort of tenets of punk belief is to be anti-establishment, right? And so we're in an era of time where in order for us as a community to care for one another, to thrive, we're gonna have to be anti-establishment. Can you speak to how you being exposed to anti-establishment thought influenced you as an artist or influenced the adult you became? Because I also want to make a reference here that when we look at sort of generations before us, right, and we think about the time of revolution that was here in America in the 60s, then there were some people who were hippies, and then they were like, oh, boop, I just ended up in corporate America, and now I'm like, wait, what were those things? But then there were some people who were hippies that kept that hippie ethic, right? And I feel like punk is one of those things that some people keep the ethic even as they grow older. So tell us more.
Yeah, I think that that's something that punk doesn't get enough credit for. I know, like, you know how people will look at The Simpsons and they'll be like, oh, The Simpsons predicted this, The Simpsons predicted that. I genuinely feel like punk was doing that throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, there was always this I want to think it was a healthy level of awareness with a touch of paranoia. You know, a lot of me and my friends always thought of the government as being fascist, or at least fascist adjacent, right? And we always thought of, at some point, the government is going to go all the way there and actually put a crypto-fascist in office, which is what has happened. But I think that punk was always kind of on the forefront of these things, talking about things that other people were not talking about. You know, I can give one example, the genocide that's happening in Palestine. That is a very hot topic right now, which it should be. But I found out about this genocide through a band called Propagandhi that put out a song called Haile Selassie Up Your Ass. And there was a lyric in there that says, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, soon to be parking lots for American tourists and fascist cops. Which, if you listen to our crypto-fascist that is in office right now, these are things that he has flirted with. So this was in 1993 that punks were talking about this. Now, of course, me as an adult, a bit older, I kind of think like, well, why weren't they listening to us? Well, maybe because we were dressed crazy and we were screaming, you know, and they just thought that these were just like weirdo kids. But if you go back and trace the history of punk, a lot of things that are happening today were being discussed back then. Even the ideas of, you know, a lot of things. I know we don't have time to get into everything, but yeah.
Talk to me about punk and its influence on art, because we can look at punk's influence on music, sure. We can look at punk's influence on fashion, we can look at punk's influence on visual art. For yourself as a music head, as also an artist, a visual artist, how would you say punk influenced you in those regards?
In that regard, I think the way punk influenced me there is that there's always been this idea of if you have something to say, just say it. And it never held to this idea of like traditional talent when it comes to music or art or anything else. It was like, well, if you have something to say, just figure out how to say it. You know, especially with music, if it was like, you know, if you want to start a band, start a band. Like Randy said, start a band today, you know. If you don't know how to play guitar, figure it out. If you don't know how to play drums, bang on shit. Or in my instance, if you don't know how to sing, just scream, you know? Just figure out a way to get that creative outlet out there. So yeah, that's something I still hold today, which you mentioned Dead in Hip Hop, which is something very interesting with hip hop, is that's kind of the same trajectory. You know, we don't have money for this expensive equipment or all this stuff. We'll just figure it out. You know what I mean? We'll borrow things or we'll experiment with things. Like, you know, I think that punk really instilled that idea in me, and I still have that now with doing YouTube stuff, you know. I wasn't gonna wait for Complex or BET to come knocking on my door to say, hey, you wanna talk about hip hop in this different way? No, we'll just do it ourselves, you know. We'll just figure out a way and we'll upload it, and if people like it, they like it.
Last question for you. What can we do to keep punk culture alive in Atlanta as we're watching our city change in some ways that are good and some that are not good? How do we keep that punk culture alive?
That's a good question. I think that punk culture is very much alive in Atlanta. I think the beautiful thing about it is you can't really easily identify who that punk is. You know, back in the day, like I said, you saw that mohawk, you saw the green hair. Now you might see a suit. And you don't know, but that guy's punk as fuck. You have no idea, you know? He might wear that suit during the day, but at night, he's, you know, helping people that have been put in jail unjustly, you know, get out easier or whatever. So I think that the easiest way to keep punk alive is just to keep talking about it and to focus more maybe on the activism side of punk and, you know, I'm not gonna say go out and break shit, but go out and like focus on what's affecting your community because that's something that punk was very, very strong about was community policing, you know, community engagement, all of these things. So yeah, I think that that's something that's very, very, very important to keep an eye on and to focus on.
Y'all give it up one time for Mike Seatown. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, so good. Thank you. All right. Our last speaker, if you are a frequenter of ABV, if you know visual art in Atlanta, you know this name already. Y'all bring up comic illustrator, visual artist, Rico.
How you guys doing? Look, I don't know if the mic is too loud, but in the back it's blown out a little bit. And I know my voice is, yeah. So everything she just said was a lie. I'm actually a male escort, and I've been a male escort for years, right here outside the Earl. Sold a lot of dick out there. Nah, I'm joking, y'all. I did this thing. I came here because ABV for sure, and then I started doing my research on CreativeMornings. I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm very anti a lot of things, and I guess you could say that's punk. I didn't come up here with any script like those 30-second live commercials you guys did, which was really cool. I ain't gonna lie, man. But I said, okay, ABV, I got a piece in the show. It's along the wall, and I was like, yo, okay, let's do it, you know. But I'm born and raised here. Make some noise if you're from Atlanta. You guys are lying. You guys are from Marietta. Nah. But I was raised on the east side, and I guess I'm not from Atlanta either, but I was raised on the east side, and I kind of was raised like in Little 5 Points and Ponce. I went to High Museum had this program over where Ponce City Market is, which used to be City Hall for years. If you guys are remembering that, but and then it was empty for some time. And they had a program there, and that was my first introduction to like the punk culture of Ponce, which was intriguing to me. And so I always did art, and I did kind of what my mom wanted me to do, and then I kind of like started doing what the fuck I wanted to do, and heavily influenced by a lot of the art and a lot of the music and a lot of the just the people that I would see on Ponce in the city and in Little 5 Points. And I never really thought much of it. I just thought everybody else was kind of doing what I was doing. That time's going by pretty fast. Yeah. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. You guys are here in numbers. All I have to do is just keep being myself. And I tell people all the time, like, you know, I don't understand how people are not themselves. But that's from me, like, growing up in the city and growing up in a place like Atlanta where it's not a lot of hate here, you know, as much as people think. It's a lot of it's a lot of exploration to do. And if a kid doesn't get out like I did, then they're gonna turn into their parents. So yeah, I just always grew up, man. So yeah, but I got out of, man, I moved to DC and I went to college at Howard University, HBCUs. Any HBCU graduates in the building? Yeah, I didn't graduate. I did 4 years though, and I left. And in a very punk way, I was trying to prove to my dad that, like, I can get the fuck out of here with a 4-year education, fuck the degree, and I'm gonna make something of myself. If that's not punk, I don't know what that is, you know? And it might be a little stupid, but now they're asking me to come back and get my degree. I just gotta pay like $6,000 for it. But yeah, so I went to DC and I discovered the punk scene in DC. I didn't even know. You know, I knew about Bad Brains, you know, shouts out to anybody who knows about Bad Brains, but I didn't know that shit was still like there like that. And so I used to hang out in Adams Morgan. Anybody from DC, you guys know. And Adams Morgan is very similar to Little Five Points and Ponce, and like I moved up there and like found culture there, man. And then I started going to New York, started moving around, and yeah, I kind of just always had my way of things and just showing up and partying like our first speaker said, like going to straight edge parties, drinking there. Yeah, I have a Coke can full of whiskey. But yeah, and they wonder why my eyes are so low. But yeah, other than that, man, I don't speak about myself too much because I don't take myself that serious. All I say is, you know, you guys look up my work. You can just Google or go on IG or whatever and see some of my work. I've been told I have a political tone, but I'm just black. Yeah. I got 2 minutes left, y'all. Yeah, so look, like I said, this is very punk of me to get up here. You guys have been drinking coffee. I drank coffee, and I had a couple vodka mules also. I plan on, you know, I don't dig on donuts too much, but shouts out to Kamal, who runs Sublime. That's my guy. Go see him. That's a black-owned donut shop, if you didn't know. And he's also from Atlanta. But I will, after this, go to Emerald City Bagels and get me a nice bagel sandwich and soak up all this vodka at 9 in the morning. Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate you guys having me. Look up my work, man. I'm pretty serious about it. I do shows. I've showed in here many times. I've been friends with Greg and Nate here for well over 10 years. They took me in when I was a young gun running the streets. They saw a spark, and a lot of people have, but you know, I'm a large guy and I intimidate people, and I'm sorry, but you know, I just like this. But if you guys ever see me out, I'm your best friend, okay? And that's all I got, man. I appreciate you guys. Yeah.
All right, let me ask all my punk speakers to come back up here. Y'all give it up for them. And we're gonna take like 2 or 3 audience questions if you got them. I'm gonna let y'all go on time, okay? So if we miss your question, our speakers have agreed to stay around and hang around a little bit if you wanna come up and chat them as well. Audience questions, what do I have? Anybody? Anyone? Yeah, talk to me. If you'll stand for me so I can repeat your question for the camera. Question was, are you still engaged with the current punk scene? Yes? From anybody?
Kind of embarrassingly, not so much with the younger punk scene. I have been working on an oral history, and that has been primarily the people I was more engaged with from the past. But my hope is to keep going, and like every time I do one, I meet other people, they mention other people, and then I want to build that up and keep going. I try when people write in to Punk House Atlanta and they have a show, I try to share it in the stories, do anything like that. But admittedly, part of what I moved back was to be with my family up in the suburbs, so I don't always make it down. I'm getting old, so. But I'm in full support. It's just I'm not always totally there, and I'm there in spirit, and I will reshare anything, but so.
Yeah. Other questions, anybody? Yeah. Question is, what are the differences or similarities between the Atlanta scene and Pittsburgh?
Well, Atlanta is way bigger, way more people, and has a lot more going on in many ways. What was really great about Pittsburgh was that it was a much more manageable city. I feel like I'm still getting opportunities in Pittsburgh where I haven't really been able to break in as much in Atlanta. So I was really grateful for this opportunity to be seen. But yeah, I think Pittsburgh also has a lot of grants, they have one of the highest capita of philanthropists for how small the city is. So they have huge grants. It's a much more affordable city. So when I sold my house in Pittsburgh and came back here, I was like, whoa, I just made so much money, because it was the boom of everything, and it was I could never buy a house in Atlanta or anywhere near. It was vastly, vastly different. So if you still want a house for under $200,000, go to Pittsburgh or the Rust Belt. But it has a great arts community. It's just way smaller, and yeah. So, but they've done a lot to diversify. They've done a lot. So I feel like I can't fully speak to the Atlanta art scene as much, because I'm not as in it now. But I started teaching again. I'm at Kennesaw State. I teach photography there, and that usually opens me up through my students and through my other colleagues, what's happening a little bit more. So,
thank you. Last question, Greg. Did you? You can tell us. It can be for anybody, or you can tell us who it's for.
I got into, I left that out, yeah, because I only had 7 minutes. But when I discovered punk, when I discovered punk rock and that whole culture, I discovered skateboarding and riding BMX when I was 12, and it just was something different. Nobody in my neighborhood did none of that shit. Everybody made fun of me. My brother disowned me. My mom was the only supportive person. I worked my ass off all summer I was cutting grass and doing odd jobs around the neighborhood, and buying 40s for crackheads and stuff. And I saved enough money to buy this bike. I had it was a GT, one of those GT BMX bikes, and my mom, she just keep your money. She bought it for me, and so it inspired me to just be myself, man. It honestly just kicked me into being myself, honestly. That's my inspiration. And, I'm a father of 3 boys, and my kids are doing the same thing. They're just doing it earlier. Hoping it's not really screwing them up too much. I know it is, though. But I can't help it. I'm myself, and I guess I'm punk. I don't even know if I've ever said that before, but I'm saying it right now. But, yeah. Yeah, but it's big inspiration, for sure.
Y'all give it up one time. Oh, were you going to say something, Randy? Go ahead.
Just 1 second to build on that. Skateboarding and punk have always been together. Ian MacKay who y'all may have heard of. He says like skateboarding is transforming the urban environment, right? So you're taking an aesthetic, you do it on BMX bike, and you're doing something with it that it was never intended to be done with it. And that is the punk part of the action sport component of this. So thank you for that question.
Y'all give it up one time for Randy Gue, Ivette Spradlin, Mike Seatown, and Frico Rico, our speakers today. Thank all of you. I'm gonna ask them to stay up here in case y'all wanna come and chat, okay? Y'all, this is it. This is the end of Creative Mornings. Thank you so much for being here. See y'all the last Thursday in July. Before y'all move, those of you who are able, I need you to unfold them. I need you to be punk and unfold this chair. Fold it up. When you get up, you're gonna put it in these dollies up here, please. Thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all next month.